Hello everybody and welcome into another live broadcast. It is Friday, December the 9th, 2022. My name still is Kerry Holzman, and thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me for another, as they said in the chat room, a double feature today, another live broadcast on a completely different subject. If you missed earlier, we had a great interview with Begaun from Acronis talking about the latest version of Acronis CyberProtect backup software, data protection software. If you missed it, I strongly encourage you to go back and watch that. It's a wonderful video for people who know they should be backing up but don't necessarily know how, or people who are backing up but are looking for an alternative way to back up that's easier and cheaper than perhaps what you might be using now. Definitely worth a watch, in my opinion. And for now, since we're live, we're going to talk about the current subject, which is wireless routers. It is the Christmas season, the holiday season, I should say. And look, a lot of people don't have a lot of money, and a lot of people can use an upgraded wireless router. So many more devices are connecting to Wi-Fi now than ever before. If you have an older router, it may be slow, it may have poor range, it may not be secure. And balancing the number of Wi-Fi connections that you are now asking it to do, after 5 or 6 years, you're probably connecting far more Wi-Fi devices to it today than you've ever been before. I know one of my clients, we turned Wi-Fi off. They had no reason for it. And now if I turn Wi-Fi off, they would probably fire me. So the needs have changed. And I mean, almost universally for at least people here in America, probably worldwide, between phones and tablets, let alone laptops and desktops, Internet of Things like cameras, Ring doorbells, appliances want to connect to Wi-Fi. Everything wants Wi-Fi, garage door openers. It's amazing. If you look at the status of your Wi-Fi router, you may not realize just how many things you've connected to it or are connected to it that you completely have taken for granted. And it is probably impacting your Wi-Fi or your internet speed and responsiveness if your router is more than 4 years old. Now, that being said, I've got some plain boxes in front of me. The reason why these boxes are, at least these two, are plain is because these are returned items or renewed items that Amazon sells. Now, this video is not sponsored. You'll see these are Asus routers. That's because I was interested in these Asus routers, but I'm also going to talk about a Netgear router here at the end. I've got no relationship, no professional sponsorship or money changing hands with Netgear or Asus. They don't know that I'm making this video. This is 100% funded by the viewers. I was able to purchase these routers using funds that are collected through Super Chat contributions, Amazon gift cards, and other forms of contributions that the viewers generously offer up over the course of my videos. And I use that money to then buy product that I can make more videos with. We'll probably do a giveaway with these as well, and I'll talk more about that later. For right now, I want you to know that in my experience, when buying renewed or refurbished items, when it comes to routers specifically, I've never had to send one back for being damaged or not working. That's just been my experience. This is not true universally of all returned or renewed items that Amazon sells. There's some items like computer fans, I'll never do that again. Power supplies, just buy new. Okay? Save yourself the hassle. Those are very difficult things to test. Sometimes, especially with computer fans, there are dishonest customers, a lot of them, apparently, that will take the new computer fan out of the box, put their old computer fan in it, which isn't even the same make or model, and then return it back to Amazon. And then the people at Amazon, for whatever reason, turn around and resell it. Then I get it, and it's a broken fan, or I bought an LED fan, it's not an LED fan, and I have to return it. And Amazon always takes the return, but I don't like the waste of time. I've never had that problem with a returned what they call used or a refurbished or what they call renewed product. So I've got several different price points here. Each router that is more money is faster and has more range. There's no getting away with anything here, all right? At the very top, and I haven't even opened, or rather, I've cut the tape, but I've not taken these routers out of the box yet. I'm assuming they're gonna work fine, but I want you to see what you can get or what you should expect if you're gonna order one of these. And we're gonna start with the cheapest one, $24.99. I mean, come on, $24.99. This is not going to be the latest router. This isn't going to be the one with the best range. This isn't going to be the one that can handle the most devices. It's also not going to be the largest or the heaviest, and it's not going to have all the bells, whistles, and features. But it may be multiple times better than what you have if you've got an older router. It may offer more speed and more performance and more range, but it depends what we're comparing it against. So set your expectations based on what you're paying. $24.99. Let me show you the website. First of all, let's go to Amazon. Let me show you what the pictures look like, and then we'll see what it looks like in the box. We'll compare the two. We'll plug it in. We'll run through the interface quickly. We'll move to the next one. I will try to get this done in an hour, but I also want to be able to answer your questions as they appear in the chat, and I will encourage you to ask questions. If I don't, there'll be times where I'm looking away from the chat room. There's a slight delay in these videos, so you may have to ask your question a few times before I see it. And I will remind you when I am looking to the chat to say, hey, if you got a question, ask it now because I'm paying attention. Also, feel free to ask questions at any time because we have lots of knowledgeable viewers in our chat room that will also offer up answers for you as well. And more often than I like to admit, their answers are better than mine. Now, I've got this little computer right here that I've taken to Amazon, and I'm going to just turn that input on. Here it is. Oh, and what a coincidence, we're already at the right page at Amazon. The links for all of these routers are in my video notes below the video. Now this is the Asus RT-AC1200 version 2. It's a dual band, meaning 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. It is an internet router, which as far as consumers go, that's the only kind there is. It's for gaming and streaming. Well, please. Every router is for gaming and streaming. So it's so at the bottom end of the spectrum that they're making a big deal out of nothing. This is implied when we use the word router. Parental controls are optional though, and that's nice that they have those if you want that feature. You're going to look at a maximum range on a router like this of 2,000 square feet. So if you have very basic internet needs and Wi-Fi needs, there's no reason for you to spend $500 on some high-end router. It does have concurrent 300 megabits per second, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz throughput. It's got the Asus WRT dashboard. It's got improved coverage and multi-device performance with 4 external antennas, 2 each for 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. It's got the advanced parental control, which helps you protect your children from internet addiction. Too late for me. You can restrict the times that each device can access the internet by applying scheduled time limits to each device. Asus Router app you can download on your phone, helps you make your connected life easier. And now, this is just a 10100 router. This is not a gigabit router. Nor should you expect it to be at this price point, or you have unrealistic expectations. But $24.95, that's free shipping. It's 50% off. This router is normally around $50. But this is an older router. I will say, at the very bottom, as far down as I would go, this is the bottom. I wouldn't go any lower than this. You will see there are some routers offered from companies I've never heard of. Not TP-Link, they're fine. There is a brand in here. Is it this one? What is this? Yeah, this one, Tenda. I don't know who Tenda is. Wavelink, I don't know who Wavelink is. And my concern about buying from a non-name brand is what kind of support I'm going to get, and how is the warranty going to be addressed, and how often am I going to get firmware updates. I would stay far away from these if you value your security, your privacy, and you want the best performance. I do believe you get what you pay for. I think the $62 router here is a $62 router. I don't think it's better than other brands. If anything, you're paying in other ways. Now, I could buy these and experiment with them to see what long-term ownership is like. Of course, you see it's got pretty good reviews here, and these are obviously not coming from very technical people, if I had to guess. But I'm going to stick with name brands. That's going to be Asus, Netgear. I'm forgetting one. There's 3 big brands. Oh, TP-Link. Those are my 3 favorite brands personally, and as I run my computer business, I would not sell you and endure the support requirements of anything other than those 3 brands, because I don't want to go out of business staying on the phone with support with folks that would have problems they wouldn't have with a name brand router potentially. I'm not willing to roll those dice. If you want to, I just want to set your expectations. It may be a positive experience. If you have experience with those manufacturers and you want to share that in our chat room, feel free. I don't mind. But I'm not going to endorse them, because I would not endorse them in my business until I've had time to vet them out. Asus, Netgear, and TP-Link have been making routers pretty much since Wi-Fi was made. They're very well polished. They have good support. They're reliable. And they sell them by the hundreds of thousands here in the US and around the world. So for $24.99, you get a white box. This is, I believe, a renewed product. This one is not only, this one wasn't $24.95. This one was like $18 because somebody returned it, right? I forgot to show that to you. So if you thought $24.99 was too much money, or you still feel like you want a deal, check this out. I forgot to do this. Scroll down here, and you might see it says, if I got to find it, other sellers, there should be something like, new and used. We click on that. Now it's saying the cheapest one is $24.99. Apparently I bought the only one that they had that was from Amazon warehouse. So you'll see it's not bringing anything up. But do check this out if you want to save some money. And this came up with one that was returned to Amazon warehouse. I only buy returned items from Amazon that come from Amazon warehouse. They might be shipped by Amazon and come from a third party, but I'm very nervous about restocking fees or paying for return shipping. It's not worth a few dollars savings. So yeah, instead of $24.99, I paid $18 in free shipping, and it's from Amazon warehouse, and I can return it for free if I want to, for any reason. All right, so that's a really great shopping secret at Amazon for certain items where, in my experience, it's really safe to buy the returned products. They call them used. Sometimes they might have cosmetic imperfections. I think this one said it had a cosmetic imperfection. I have never seen an item arrive yet that has a cosmetic imperfection, even though it says it does. So maybe I don't have a detailed eye. Maybe it's that minor. I don't know, but check this out. Here's what I got. No fancy packaging. Somebody's already thrown the packaging out. Oh, this isn't the right router. This is the second router. My bad. Hold on. It's live. This one should be on top. I thought the smaller box was the cheaper router. That's a rookie mistake. So I got a plain cardboard box. I got the Amazon sticker. Let's open this box up. Somebody in the warehouse repacked this. This is clearly not anything like original packing. In the package, I have 2 things. I have my router, and apparently the antennas don't come off. Yeah, it's super small. There is a network cable. I have the power adapter. You got to have that. They're not interchangeable between models. Just because the plug fits, you'll blow something up. You'll burn it up. So you make sure you keep the power adapters with the devices they come with. Don't just guess. And then we just have a short cable. That's everything the router comes with, apart from an instruction manual, maybe a wire tie. I throw all that stuff out anyway. That's not stuff I wanted. I didn't need to take this out of the package. I want to remind you, this is not a gigabit router. That would be a deal breaker for me, because I'm transferring video files back and forth. I need to have that gigabit. That's what I tell myself. There's no USB port on the back of this. This doesn't have that fancy feature. This was under $20. Look how super tiny. Look at how cute this is. I could almost cover it with my hand. You want to get a close-up of it?
Sure.
Let's get the close-up camera going. Give me just a minute. I have to find it in my source list. Okay, you're good. All right, so we'll get a nice view of this router and our connections in back. 4 LAN ports, 10100. If you have gigabit Ethernet, if you have gigabit internet, that means you're downloading 100 megabits per second. So this 100 megabit port is all you need. Now, if you got fiber, different story. But a gigabit internet is about 100 megabytes down, give or take. We got a physical on-off switch, power connector, and then the physical reset. Let's plug it in. Let's see if it works. We're going to hook it up to that little machine right over here. We're going to hook it up there. I'm not going to use this cable. I've already got one plugged in. And then we'll plug the adapter in. And I'm going to go back to a wide shot on this. So let me have you step just a little aside. And we'll go back to camera 1. You're good. You're clear. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to plug this in. I've never plugged it in before. Anything can happen. It's live. But I'm confident this is going to plug in. It's going to work just fine. For any reason, I can return it. And right now, Amazon's allowing returns until the end of January so that you can give this as a Christmas gift. And if it doesn't work out for any reason, that person can return it or you can return it. Hassle-free. So peace of mind. You don't have to worry about gambling away your money for a bargain. I hate that. No mystery bags, no, company vanishes or doesn't return emails after the sale. You're not going to deal with that with Amazon. Amazon's not paying me to be here, but I do make a commission. If you use the links to make the purchases, I get a small commission. They don't cost you any more money. Nothing changes on your side, and I don't know who you are. They're anonymous from my perspective, and it's a great way to show support for the channel. I'm obviously not going to make much on a $25 sale, but you know what? There's a lot of you out there. Pennies turn into dollars, and dollars turn into more dollars, and I certainly appreciate if you use my links, but I would never know if you did or you didn't. I'm going to go ahead. I had it in the on position, so I'm going to flip it. I turned it off while I was talking because I wanted to show you. When it turns on, it's going to boot up a lot faster than the big fancy routers because those things take a while to start up. This thing's going to fire up pretty quickly, and we should get a couple of lights. We'll start with just the power light, and then we should see whatever LAN port we've plugged into here light up, and something with regards to the WAN or the internet should light up, and we might even get a light for the Wi-Fi once this initializes, which I would think would have happened by now. But it's really small. When you adjust your antennas, the advice I've been given by JJ over at Asus is that they don't have to be in any particular position, but keep them equally symmetrical. Try and keep them about the same distance from each other. Don't have one like that. Okay, so there we go. We're all lit up. Things are good to go. What's my problem here? Power cable's a little short, so I'm struggling a little bit there. I'm going to go ahead and go back to this machine, which is plugged in physically to that router, and we're going to take a look at what it's like to set this thing up. I'm going to show you how easy or how difficult it is. Screen's looking a little dark today. Okay, we're going to go back over to that input, and I need to go full screen on my side. You guys won't see a difference. All right. So what I want to do is I want to log into this router. Some Asus routers, you can go to, what is the website? Asus.router.com, is that right? Please show you're not a robot. That doesn't seem right. That is not what I want. That's not the right. Don't go to that site. That is not right. Do not do that. It might be on the bottom of the router, or we can load the app on our phone. Look on the bottom of the router. There's usually a sticker. Is that what it is? Router.asus. That sounds right. I confuse Netgear and TP-Link. Let's try it. That's better. That's the interface to the router right there. I think we're going to sign in with just admin and no password. No, is it admin and admin? You can always go online. That did work. You can always go online. Since this did not come with a user manual, just go to Asus's website, go to this product page, and download or read the PDF right there online, which will be updated versus a printed manual. That's pretty standard for most things these days anyway. So we need to give this router a login name. I'm going to keep the router login name as admin, and I'm going to put in a password. And this is just to log into the router. This is to set up the wireless. We don't want people to just log into our router randomly and change our wireless or get into our configuration. This protects that. See if I type that twice the same way. Yes, I did. Now, this interface looks remarkably like every Asus router. The difference is the number of options you have and what those options are. These $300, $400, $500 Asus routers have a lot more options this way. And then for each one you click on, you get a lot more options. Well, let's go here, like administration. You see all these tabs? That's pretty standard. But depending on the number of features the router has, other tabs like WAN may have many more options through here, and we may have many more options through this area as well. So we want to set up, first of all, I want to check to see if there's a new router firmware. More modern routers will check that for you when you first set them up. I'm going to go to administration, and I click up here to firmware upgrade. And I'm going to have it just check automatically to see if a newer firmware version is available from Asus. Now it's telling me this router's current firmware is the latest version. We are up to date. Now we could always go to Asus's website and manually check that. I have no reason to doubt it. It's an older router. We can set up our Wi-Fi. We can come over here to surprised it didn't walk us through here. We'll go over to wireless, and we can set up the name of our 2.4 gigahertz network, and we can set up the name of our 5 gigahertz network. This router apparently doesn't have the Smart Connect features where it can switch you automatically. It is a $25 router. If you're in a smaller house, if your needs are simple, and if you have a router now that's more than 4 or 5 years old, this could be a great upgrade for you for a pittance. It's 25 bucks, it's nothing. And if you use it and you don't like it, if you find there's no noticeable difference, that you're getting no benefit from it, pack it up and send it back to Amazon. Get your money back. Some things just can't be reviewed accurately, and routers are one of those things, folks. I can't tell you how well this router is going to perform for you because I don't know what you're connecting to it, how many things you're connecting to it, how far you're trying to go, what your building is made out of, or if you're surrounded with a bunch of other people with routers like in an apartment building where the channels are all overcrowded and your router has to fight for airspace. Nobody can tell you this. There's too many variables. At some point you got to bite the bullet, you got to try it and see if you like it. And if you buy it from a place that's easy to make returns, it's not going to cost you anything, what is there to lose? There's only something to gain. If you don't like it, you send it back. All right? But please have realistic expectations on a $25 router. Normally, I wouldn't even bother showing this. But I'll be honest. I know enough people that this is all they need. And they're using something that's so awful. It's so insecure. They're still using WEP security, for crying out loud. That is massively a huge mistake. If your router only supports WEP, you have a very old router. WEP is the type of security your Wi-Fi is using. It can be cracked in 3 seconds these days. It was considered secure 20 years ago. Not anymore. All right, so you definitely want WPA2. And if you're using Wi-Fi 6E or Wi-Fi 7, you're going to want WPA3. Wi-Fi 7 is not even out yet. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about that next year. Now, that's enough on that. I don't want to talk for an hour on a $25 router. It's pretty basic. It gets the job done for people who have very simple needs. And they're like, what am I going to do with a $300 router? You're right. It's not for everybody, nor is this for everybody. You have to, I don't know you. You have to use your own judgment to know, is this going to be good enough for you? I don't know. You have to tell me. All right, so that one's done. 1 down, 3 to go. All right, we're going to go to, I told you it's going to be quick. I'm going to fire them off here. Let's keep that over there. I'm going to go back over to this computer. We're going to look at the Amazon page for router number 2. Full screen. Thank you. All right, we're going to close this out. Router number 2 is this router. This is the Asus AC2900. Now, this has the WT Fast game accelerator. This is all stuff you could do by hand. This router at $113 may seem a little pricey to some of you, but I'll be honest. It's a great bargain at $113. This was, what was this router normally? What's that scratched out price? $130? It was $129.99. Not the biggest savings in the world, but you'll notice it's in a white box. You know why? Because I went down here and said, well, 113 is pretty good, but what do they have used? 81 bucks? Oh, come on. 81 bucks. Okay, well, that's a great savings, but who's it coming from at $81? Saved with used in good condition, $81.94. Is it coming from Amazon warehouse? Ships and sold from somebody else. This is not Amazon. Do check their return policies. If it's from Amazon warehouse, you definitely have peace of mind. If it's from anybody else, it may be the same as Amazon policies on returns, or it may not be. So definitely want to check that out. $81.94. There's only one left in stock, but check back daily, because as things get returned, inventory changes every day, or potentially can change. It's worth looking if you're in the market. So I think that's about what I paid for this. And this came from Amazon warehouse, I'm pretty sure. I might have grabbed the last one, but again, they get returned all the time. $81. It says it's in good condition. What does good condition mean? There's very good, there's like new. This is the third tier down from like new. I think it's then very good and then good. So we'll take a look at it close up with the camera, see if there's like scuffs or scratches. The fact it doesn't come with the original factory box may be impacting how they're rating the condition. I mean, who cares if it comes in the factory box? I don't care. Let's bring the close-up camera in again, and we'll do the unboxing close-up. Here we go. Come on over. All right, so again, I've only cut the tape on here and looked in. I've not removed any of these items. So as you see them is how they're packed. We do have the original, egg crate kind of packing here. No plastic around this at all, just like the other one, but I don't see any scuffs or scratches anywhere. Do you see it? Because I don't know why this rates just as good instead of as like new, because it looks like new to me. It's got some dust on it. That's not my dust. I just got these today. The antennas have to be screwed on. They better be in the box. And this router is going to sit upright like this. So a bit different of a design if that fits your desk better. On the back, we have not one, but 2 USB ports. How cool is that? So you can plug a printer in, you could plug an external drive and use it as a network share. We have same four, these should be Gigabit Ethernet ports. I'll double check with our WAN port here. Power goes in there, on, off, push on, push off switch. 3 antennas on the top, and all our activity lights on the front. Inside the box, you can film in there. Again, no instructions. We have 3 antennas just haphazardly thrown in a bag. We've got a power adapter wrapped with a rubber band. That's not factory. And then we've got, of course, an Ethernet cable. It's all pretty standard. Oh, look, there's a twist tie somebody included but didn't use. Who cares? I don't care. Do you care? I really don't. At $80, that's a $50 discount from something that's already discounted, what, 20? No, it's only discounted like 6. What's that?
Close the box.
I got to close the box? It's in the way? All right, let's get it out of the way.
There's a sticker.
What sticker?
There's 2 stickers.
Who cares?
One sticker and an AC adapter.
Yeah, that's all there is. Just a plain box.
There's an AC adapter sticker.
Yeah, well, they all have that. The other one box says that too. Okay, so there's our adapter. Here's our router. We're going to put our antennas on. Whoops. Okay, well, hopefully people don't get motion sick. Thank you for picking that up.
Sorry.
See the antennas where they're plugging in here? Just turn those, kind of face them all the same way. Remember, we want symmetry on these antennas. We can just leave them pointing up. The router is designed to stand up like that. I'm going to take the power adapter. Again, it's a different power adapter. Don't move power adapters to different devices unless you want to kill those devices. This is our blue cable that goes in our blue port. No, it doesn't. It goes over here. My bad. That's going to go on any of the yellow ports. That's connecting directly to that computer. And in the little black cable, that's coming from our internet source. This would be our cable modem. And that's going to go into the blue port. Now, anytime you're going to plug a new router into a cable modem, you must turn the cable modem off, or it will not assign a new IP address in most cases to your router. You'll think you've got a bad router. Then you're going to plug your old router back in. It gets reassigned the IP address it just had, and it works fine. Well, you have to turn your modem off when you change your router, or likely you will not get a new IP address. Okay, we're going to plug this in. Plug this one in next. This one's a little bit longer of a cable. It's also a much bigger power adapter, and it's more than twice the cost of the previous router, and it has more than twice the features. So we are still getting what we paid for. In fact, I think we're really getting a deal on this one. If we turn it around, power's on, it's initializing, and it should initialize rather quickly. Yeah, it's already got multiple blinking on. Maybe I spoke too soon, the lights went out. There it goes. Now it's initialized. Okay, we're going to go back to the desktop. You're good, you're clear. And I'm going to go full screen. What was that site we went to? Was it router.asus.com? Should be the same on all Asus routers. Router.asus.com. Now we have the more advanced, more modern interface, which recognizes this is our first time. So it's going to walk us through the setup. Create a new network. Give the network a name. This is my network name. This has channel bonding, which means it'll move automatically to 2.4 or 5 to the device you're connecting with, if your device supports both, to whichever one is better for you in that moment. And as you move around, it can switch. This may cause problems with older Wi-Fi devices. So if you want to separate your 2.4 and your 5 gigahertz networks into 2 separate SSIDs with 2 separate passwords, you can do that. I'm going to keep things simple. I lost my settings. And we'll hit apply. Now we need a router login name, which once again, I will leave as admin. And these are settings to configure the router versus the Wi-Fi settings, which is for accessing your network. Okay, it says your internet connection settings are finished. There's no close. There's nothing here for me to do. Oh, I just waited. All you have to do is wait. Look, it looks like a familiar screen, but we have more settings. Once again, the first thing I do, I go to administration, I go to firmware upgrade, and I check to see if a newer firmware is out there. It's very important. If you have a router now and you've never done this, I highly recommend you take some time to do it, but don't be in the middle of doing anything important because it's going to take you offline for a few minutes while it works. This is having some problem for one reason or another, connecting. So we're going to check it by hand, which is fine. I wanted an excuse to do that anyway. So this is, what was the make of this router? The Asus. I'm too lazy to type it, so I'm just going to highlight it with my mouse. I'm going to hit Control-C on my keyboard. That's going to copy what I've highlighted. I'm going to go right up here and I'm going to hit Control-V right next to the Z. That's for paste. And we're going to search for that. And I'm wondering if I'm having an internet access problem here because I'm not getting any results. It says connecting down here. I might need to release and renew my IP address on this computer because normally people don't switch out routers like this. So the computer may still think it's hooked up to the older previous router. So I'm going to go to Command Prompt. I'm going to go to Administrative Mode. And I'm going to type ipconfig/release in ipconfig/renew. And that forces the computer to reach out to the router and say, give me an IP address. And if this router works, I should get one. And it does appear that I got one. Ignore all this other stuff. We don't need to worry about that. We're just interested up here. And my internet search results came up. So I was right. That's what the problem was. Now, we want to go to Asus. We don't want to go to Amazon. We're looking for support with regards to the firmware. But this explains why the firmware check didn't work. Because the computer itself wasn't online. But just to follow through with this thought, if you want to check it by hand, we go to the Asus website. You'll see the retail price on this surprisingly is less than what Amazon is selling it for, but it's out of stock, so you can't buy it at that price anyway. However, do look for those returned and refurbished models, folks. You can save some good money, and you'll see everything works. Everything looks great. I've never had an experience otherwise yet when it comes to refurbished, renewed, used, or returned routers. We're going to click on support. We don't want the support up here. That's like generic support for Asus. We want the specific product support, which is this one. And by the way, MSI, ASRock, and Gigabit, I'll do the same thing. Drivers and tools, BIOS and firmware. The latest BIOS is, all I care about are these last 5. You don't have to look at all this. 48260, we're going to look back at the router and see what we got. 32799. So there is a newer firmware. Now, you already know how to check it automatically, I'm assuming. So let's download this and apply it manually just to show you the alternative way. You'll see up here, we're downloading a zip file. It's not too big of a file. My internet is slow. Once we've received that, we're going to extract it. We do that by just simply opening the file and extracting it by hitting the extraction button. So open file and extract all. I'm going to stay with the default here, hit extract, and it makes a folder under the same file name, and that is our firmware. So I can close all this out. I'm done with all this. In here, I can apply the firmware by hand. It says manual firmware update, upload. I'm going to go to my downloads folder. I'm going to go to the firmware folder, and I'm going to double click on the firmware. Now I just have to wait. It's important you do not interrupt this, or you could brick your router. So leave it alone. This could take 3 to 5 minutes. It's worth it. This is the same process as when we check it online. Again, the online check failed to access the Asus servers because my computer was not online because it was still holding on to the IP address previously assigned to it by the other router. This is what your cable modem does. So I could restart the computer and it would be automatically assigned a new IP address, or I run through the manual command because I'm too impatient. With regards to a modem, most people don't know the logins to their modems. They may not have access to that. So unplugging the modem and plugging it back in again will then cause it to say, oh, there's a new router. And that's why your new router wasn't working. I see these complaints in Amazon reviews. The new router didn't work, but my old router does, so I think I got a bad one. No, you didn't. You just didn't know what you're doing. I have yet to get a bad router. I've seen them go bad, but I've never received a brand new router or a reused router or a refurbished router that wasn't 100% functional. And I deal with a lot of routers. That's not to say you're guaranteed, but at least I know returns at Amazon are easy. I keep saying that because I want you to have peace of mind. This isn't some slick sales presentation. I honestly don't care if you want to buy one of these routers or not. I'm talking to you like you're my friends, and I want to give you some advice. I want to tell you what I would do. If you wouldn't do it, don't. This is only applicable in the United States. I can't speak for how Amazon operates in other countries. If you want to share your experience outside of the USA with Amazon, where there's similarities or differences, please let us know. I have no idea. I can only speak from my experience, which is obviously I'm buying a lot of stuff from Amazon, and I'm running a business where I have to support the things I sell indefinitely. Meaning if there's a problem, a question, I've got to be able to address it, and I've got to be able to do it where it doesn't put me out of business. There's not a lot of profit for me to turn around and resell items like this. After the firmware update is complete, we have to sign back into the router. It has rebooted, even though it didn't tell us that. So we're going to sign back in with the new password that we assigned to it. But all of our settings are still in there. Don't worry about that. Everything's still assigned properly. And again, this can work as a mesh router where the other one cannot, meaning that you could take multiple routers to have them overlap coverage area if this isn't reaching the full area of where you need Wi-Fi. So you got a big house, or you got a house made of materials that's blocking the signal. You can't get a signal in the kitchen. Put another router in another room. You mesh them together. This example shows 3 routers. The blue is showing the signal going out of the router, and they all work as one. They all share the same SSID and the same password. So you walk through the house, and you're just connected, and it's acting like one big router that's covering your whole house. But by the time you spend all the money on 3 routers, if that's what you need, you'd probably be better off buying a $300 or $400 router and just deal with one router that could do the exact same performance without having the maintenance. Like we would have to firmware upgrade all 3 of these routers. And anytime there was a firmware upgrade. Again, you got a bunch of bells, whistles, and features here from OpenNAT, the game settings if you want to do game device prioritizing, your Xbox or PlayStation, plug into that port. Again, we have a lot of the similar options, but also more features. This AI cloud, for example. I'm not going to get into all of it. You can see other reviews here on YouTube that go into these features of these Asus routers, but I want to keep moving. We're going to keep going fast. So I know this doesn't interest everybody, so I don't want to waste everybody's time to talk about little minutia of certain features that only apply to certain people. I know you can look this stuff up if it interests you. I just want to plant the seed, and it's up to you to take that and run with it. All right, so I'm done with this router. We're good. It's good to go. I'm not even going to turn it off. Just unplug it and set it aside. Okay, it was $80. That's a screaming deal for that router. Am I going to use that router? No, it's not good enough for me. All right, this router, I'm not even sure this router is good enough for me, but this is a pretty cool router. Let me go to the Amazon page. Let me show you what this router looks like. First and foremost, we'll go back to full screen for me, not for you. We're going to close this window out, and we're going to come over to this. Okay, this is an emphasis on gaming. This is the ROG Asus Republic of Gaming Rapture Wi-Fi 6. This is Wi-Fi, not 6E. I think you're wasting your money if you buy 6E, personally. It's just twice the money, and how many devices do you have that can even connect at 6E, if any? I recommend Wi-Fi 6. Better value for the money. This supports 802.11ax. It's promoted as a gaming router. Of course, it's 2.5 and 5 gigahertz. It's a quad-core processor on here. It's a 2 gigahertz CPU on this router, which is insane. It has something called triple-level game acceleration. It's AI mesh compatible. It shows lifetime internet security and instant guard if you're interested in that. Again, I won't get into that. Some of the refurbished routers, that feature may not be available. That feature being the lifetime internet security. I don't know. It varies on the manufacturer, but I don't use it. Look, saved with used, good condition, $290. New and used from $249. What's the price on this? $329. There's an $80 savings. Let me click on new and used. Why is it not bringing anything up? Oh, it's showing $329 here, $290. Oh, I see what I did. Only one left in stock. New and used. Why is it not? Oh, I'm not online? I'm an idiot. That would explain why that's not working. Thank you for pointing out that the little computer that's in front of me is not plugged into anything right now. I thought it would go to Wi-Fi. So this is what happens when I work quickly. I make really stupid mistakes. Haste makes waste. All right. I guess I got to hook it up first. What you saw, new, used in good condition at $249. $250 for this router? I think that's what I paid. I think I paid $250. Worth it. Worth $250. Let me show you why. We're going to go back to the close-up camera. Click that one and click that one. You're on. Come on over here. So here's what I got. We'll go ahead and pull the lid open. I got the original box. I got all the original paperwork, which is a quick connect guide. They'll walk you through setting up an app on your phone. You'll see I'm not going through that. We have an instruction manual, which appears to be Spanish, and a duplicate in English. So you can see why I don't miss these if they're not included. The router's in a bag. Look at that. It looks basically brand new. You can see it's physically much larger. That is a much bigger router. These are all gigabit ports, 2 USBs. Is that a 2.5? What is that? Can you read it? 2.5. 2.5. Cool. Well, that's what you're getting for the additional money. Physical on-off toggle here. Barrel power connector there. And then an antenna goes on each corner. So in this bag, bagged individually, each antenna. These do not light up. There is a different version of this router that's black and green. Or is it red and green? I think it's black and green. And that one, these light up, if that's important to you. This does have a logo that lights up. This is the hardest part of setting these up, is just screwing these antennas on. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of blocking my microphone when I do this. This is really intended that you can turn this independently, but it's kind of stiff. And you really should only have to do this once. It's just a matter of getting that lined up correctly. I wasn't online. Oh my gosh. I was so confused. I'm like, why is this not working? And you'll see the antenna moves like so. Let me grab the next one here. I'll just grab them all. These are big antennas. Now, with this router, you're going to get more range. You're going to get more speed. You're going to get more features. It's going to take longer to start up. It's got a 2 gigahertz processor with basically an operating system on it. And I've realized why I was struggling putting these antennas on is you should, spoke too soon. Straighten the antenna out. Makes it so much easier. There it goes. And then tighten them down. And then turn the antenna with this red part facing in, and then you can adjust it back up. See, I had it adjusted up as it is out of the box, and it's easier if it's just straight up and down. At least with this model of router. Now, why these are numbered, each one is numbered. That says 2, that one has 3, this one has 4, that one has 1. These do not have to go in any specific position. They are all the same. There is not a 1 antenna and a 2 antenna. So that just adds unnecessary confusion. Asus does stuff like this that's just, it's kind of nerdy that the average consumer doesn't, it confuses the average consumer and they ask questions like, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. Okay, so there is the router, and let me get the power adapter. Now you're going to notice the power adapters are getting bigger because these routers draw more power. Power adapters that are bigger and need more power cost more money to make. So the router's going to cost more money to buy. You do get what you pay for. Once again, we have the same barrel connector, but do not plug this into the other routers and don't plug those into here because even if it fits, well, you might let the smoke out. They run on smoke, and if you let the smoke out, they won't run anymore. Something like that. We have a little Mickey Mouse connector. See, because it looks like it's got 2 ears. All right, never mind. That's just what, it's not the official name, but it's what people in the industry call it. Now I'm going to step around one more time. I'm going to plug this router into the outlet. So bear with me for just a second off screen as I figure out where I have a space to plug this in. That'll work. Okay. Let me take this other one away before I confuse myself more than I already am. Let's come around here. Blue cable can go into any of these 4. And we'll plug the internet into the plug that's separate from all the others. I don't have 2.5. But if you do, this is a bargain of a router to take advantage of 2.5. And we'll turn it on, and you'll see it glows red. We have status LEDs across the front. This, you can change the color of it. And I think it tells you the status of the router just by the color of it. But we'll know just by these lights. These will all, well, not all of them, but we'll have a couple of lights on when it's initialized. And it will take longer to boot this router than the other 2 because it's fancier and more advanced. And you can turn the LED off altogether if it annoys you. It's not very bright though. You can have it change color, you can have it breathe, which is what it's doing now. You can have it in an always on position. Let me clear my counter while we're waiting. I'm running out of room here. Whew. We're gonna sweat. That thing is still booting. Holy cow. Oh, no, wait. Lights are coming on. Okay, we're gonna go back to my desktop or my, you're clear. Yeah, so we're back on the little computer here on the desk. I'm gonna go, where's my mouse? I gotta go full screen on my side here, so bear with me for a second. I want to go back to the command prompt. I'm going to change the order in which I'm doing things so I don't appear as dumb. Run as administrator. I don't know that you have to run it as administrator, but We're going to do an IP config/release, IP config/renew. Give that a second. A few seconds. There we go. That's what I needed. Now, I'm still on the wrong page here. All right, that's not what I want. Okay. So now when I click on used and new, is it going to work? New and used. Yay, now it's coming up. Remember, this inventory is going to change often. So if it's not in there, check again tomorrow, check again the day after. Keep looking. Why didn't it come up now? Come on now. This little window should stay open. It didn't stay open. I really want to demonstrate this and it's not working. This should open and stay open, and I'm missing something here. I don't know. I'm going to get on with it though. Let's just go back to router.asus.com. Now, I have taken this out of the box and I had already updated the firmware, so I'll be surprised if there's any new firmware. But I did reset it, so we have to go through the first time setup, create a new network. Once again, we can separate or combine the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. I'm going to combine them just to keep the setup easy. You really want to have a stronger password than what I'm setting. I'm just doing this quickly. We'll hit apply. We need a router login name. This should not be admin, but I'm just going to do this to keep it quick. Never forget this. This is what you need to know to log into this Wi-Fi and adjust its settings, including its Wi-Fi, its access, parental controls. You don't want anybody being able to log in and do that, right? So you don't want anybody just logging into your Wi-Fi. That's why your Wi-Fi has a password. That's why your router itself has an administrative password. That's why your house key is not the same as your car key. Passwords are just keys in a digital form. Now, you can see some similarities to the previous router's interface with a little more graphics and information. So you can see you're getting more because you're spending more. We can turn the logo off, the LED. We can change the, if we want it, gradient. You can spend way too much time on playing with this nonsense. Static means it just stays on. Breathing means it fades in and fades out. Wave, it kind of gives you an idea here. Marquee. And then we can change the color. We go up to the top, we have many of the same settings. It can be used as a mesh router, meaning you can use two or more of them together. But this, I'll tell you what, the signal strength on this is probably the only router you need. If you have trouble with your current router reaching into certain rooms of your house, or if you're using Wi-Fi extenders, you could probably throw all that out and just replace your router and your Wi-Fi extender with this one router. And in all likelihood, that's all you need. And I mean, majorly big difference for most people, just changing to a more powerful router. If your router now is under $100, this router here, let me rephrase. If you have a router now that's $100 or less that you paid for, and you're having some signal quality issues getting to certain areas of your house, instead of spending $50 here and $30 there to try and boost that signal with Ethernet over power adapters or power extender, Wi-Fi extenders, stop wasting your money. You're spending more and you have more devices to go bad and diagnose. Just get one good router, get rid of all that extraneous stuff. It's nickel and diming you. You're spending more time and more money than just getting the right router to begin with. Again, Amazon returns are easy. If you find I'm full of it, you know what? Well, you can tell me what your experience is, but at least you have the peace of mind of actually trying it to know for sure. And if I'm wrong, you can send it back. Amazon will take it back and give you your money back, okay? So easy peasy. At least here in the USA, that's how Amazon works. You can see we have a bunch of new items here, including how we can use those USB ports. More features. Look how far down the page goes. And then within each feature, we have tabs, you know, from traffic analyzers. And look at all the tabs. I mean, I could spend all day in here. I'm not going to, but I totally could. That's a bargain at the used price. That's a bargain. And it's like, okay, that might be a bit expensive for many of you who never spent $200 on a router, but that's a $300, $350 router all day long. What was it? 3 something over at Amazon. I wouldn't pay $3 for it though. I'm just telling you, I wouldn't. And I didn't. The new price, $329, I wouldn't pay $329. $290 is okay, but you could do even better. I still don't know why this isn't loading though, and it's bugging me. Let me try something just off the cuff here. Copy that, Control C, open a new browser tab, Control V, enter. Oh, I meant to do that in Amazon. What's that?
It might be just the one.
No, there it is. That's what's supposed to come up. So it's all sorted by price. But pay attention. Sold by Amazon Warehouse. These two are available as I'm making the video at $250 from Amazon Warehouse. Oh, 3 from Amazon Warehouse, 4 from Amazon Warehouse, 5 from Amazon Warehouse. All 5 of these. Now, this says it's in acceptable condition. This says it's in good condition, and they want $40 more. Whatever acceptable means, I'll take it. I don't know what condition this is in, but it's like brand new. I don't know what they mean by acceptable. I think you can click on these definitions, but I'm telling you, they're complete. Maybe you don't get the original box. Maybe the box is damaged. Who cares? The unit is complete. You get the power adapter, the Ethernet cable. You may not get instructions, but you can go online and get them anyway. Nobody reads them. They pull up YouTube videos. You can watch a YouTube video just on this model of router where content creators get into all the nooks and crannies of each feature. If you want to sit through a video that's specific to a specific product, the content creators have them out there. I don't want to get into it because I got more to show you. I got one more router I want to demonstrate to you. And we can check this for a firmware update. I forgot to do that. Like I said, I did update out of the box. This is the nicest router out of the bunch. And let me go back. And let's just, you never know. There could be a new firmware update anytime. We go under administration. We go up here to firmware upgrade. Auto firmware upgrade. This is a new feature on more expensive routers. We can turn that on so we don't have to keep manually checking it once a month or once every couple months. I'm going to manually check it now just to be sure, but it should be current. Even when I reset the router back to factory settings, you still keep whatever firmware. It doesn't undo your firmware. You'll see the little toilet bowl flushing. At least that's what it looks like to me. The latest version. This router's current firmware is the latest version. Yeah, this is what I thought. Okay, now, before I get to the final router, I have been totally ignoring the chat room. So I want to take a look now at the chat room. If you've had a question, I have not seen it. Please do ask it again, unless somebody's already answered it for you, obviously. All right, I'm going to scroll all the way to the top. Sarge Tech says he just purchased the RT-AC1200 for $24. Boom. There's a man who's easy to impress. If you're happy with a $24 router, God bless you. I realize I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to routers. I want more and I want it all. And I'm not that way with a lot of things. I don't need the biggest and best. But when it comes to routers, I'm a been in a mood lately. I want more. I can't justify it, to be honest. I'm telling you, Wi-Fi 6E, waste of money. You can buy a router, the exact same model of router from the same manufacturer. That's the Wi-Fi 6 version, and save $200.
That one can do mobile also.
Yeah, if you do a lot with your phone, my phone's the only thing I've got that's
Well, I
6E.
can plug it into like a hotel room and set the VPN.
Oh, yeah, I suppose if you want to take your router. But they do have mobile routers. Like some hotels, like in Vegas, they have hotels that you only get 2 Wi-Fi connections and they charge you $5 for each one additional. So if you're like a family, a husband, wife, and a child, that's ridiculous. If you just connect the hotel Wi-Fi to your little portable router, then you just have one connection and then your router distributes that one connection to as many as you want. Little way to get around that. And then you can also have that router be a VPN for you, which is a good point. Okay, scrolling, I'm scrolling. This is a pretty cool router. I mean, it's kind of cool. I have to admit, I thought it was a little hacky, little boy gamer, like boy racer, but it's really grown on me. And I'm very curious to put it into use and see how it's comparing against a router that I have here that's nearly 3 times the cost. I'm really regretting this big expensive router. I am not seeing any benefit from having it, me personally. CCTV user says it seems 2.5 gig LAN is becoming the new normal. On many mid-range and high-end motherboards, yes. I don't know anybody in real life that's using it, that's a customer of mine. I might have a friend or two using it, I'm not sure, but really it may become a new norm in manufacturing, but I don't really know average folks who know what it is or would benefit from having it. So it's far from becoming normal in real world applications. You know, there's 10 gig too, and I certainly don't know anybody who's using that. I know people who've wired for it. Sarge Tech says, I live in the sticks. There's no congestion. This will fit my needs. That $24 router because you live in the... It might, yeah. I mean, you might have a small place and you may not have any benefit from having Gigabit. That's entirely possible, sure. But, you know, it's $24, so it's not a real big gamble. Not a big risk taker, my friend. But you know what? It's a good deal. If it meets your needs, if it's, you know, very simple needs, if that's all you have are simple needs, I'm sure it's better than what you have now if what you have now is several years old. Carrie, would you recommend resetting all used routers? I know I would. Well, right out when a modern router, when you first fire it up from Netgear, Asus, or TP-Link, it should take you through the setup page. It says, oh, this is a first-time setup. Therefore, you know it's already been reset. There are no settings in there. If you want to reset it again, no problem. Just grab a paper clip, straighten it out, push the little reset button in while the router is on. Wait for the lights to blink. It takes about 5 to 10 seconds. And then release that switch. And then give it a couple minutes to boot back up again. And then you'll get to the first-time setup page. It should wipe out the admin name and password, all the SSID settings. It should be just like it came out of the box for the first time. I've never received a used and never received a refurbished router that weren't ready to go as first-time setup. They had no previous settings in them. If you are overly concerned, go ahead and reset. It won't hurt anything. It's just kind of a waste of time. How many versions of routers are there? Oh my gosh. Too many. Too many. At least 7. So we have 802.11, 802.11a, 802.11b, 802.11g, 802.11n, 802.11ac, 802.11.8x. That's why they started calling it Wi-Fi 5, Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 6E, Wi-Fi 7. Wi-Fi 7, we should see some routers the first quarter of next year. So just a couple months, and I can't wait to get my hands on them, even though I'm probably going to regret it and say it's a waste of money. I don't have anything Wi-Fi 7 because it doesn't yet exist. And I could upgrade my computers to all Wi-Fi 7, but then I got to spend more money. Plus the router is going to be top of the line. It's going to cost big money. I don't know if it's going to benefit me or not, but I still want it. And then I'll buy it and then I'll be pissed off. I have super high expectations. All right. Freedom says, this is my password. Yes, that's what I'm typing. This is my password. I pretty much will type that regularly. Nobody's hacking into this, and it's going to be reset after the broadcast. I'm just trying to get through this quickly, but I am typing, this is my password. If you watch the show from before, I told everybody what that was, so it's not like this person has magic vision, but that's what I am typing for the password. Please don't use that password. It is not secure. It's easily hacked. I need something I can remember quick while I'm live, and I don't want anything alluding to my real life. Okay. Looking through comments. CCTV user says it's totally safe to buy used items from Amazon in the UK. Are the return policies as generous by Amazon in the UK? Can you do free returns that you don't have to rebox them up? You don't have to pay for the shipping. You have like 30 days or during the holidays. Right now in the US, you have until the end of January for most items you buy now, so that if they're given as gifts in a couple weeks for the holidays, those people or yourself can still have time to return them. Lots of time. So maybe they have it for 2 weeks to decide. CCTV user continues, Amazon calls these items used. However, they are most likely returns and have not actually been used as such. Quite possible. You never quite know. John says, Carrie is faster than all these routers. Yes, I need a faster router. A second helping of Carrie is nice. I ordered the Asus. Oh, it's Sarge Tech again. I mean, $24. Come on. You'll send the router to heaven if you plug in the wrong AC adapter. Do all routers go to heaven? Doman 2000 said you should put stickers on them. Yes, sometimes manufacturers don't put their name on the power adapters. So I get a label maker and I'll just write Asus on it, or I'll put the model, or say router, something, so I know in a series of plugs that are plugged in which one's which. CCTV uses, I love it when Carrie swear. I didn't swear. I said pissed off. Is that a bad word? I don't think it's a bad word. Let's see. I would reset an old used router if giving them away or selling one. Oh, sure. For your own personal security, I would certainly do the same thing. Every router I'm showing you in this broadcast, before they get put in the box, I'm going to hook them back up. I'm going to reset them. And then I can give them away and not have to worry, did I reset that one? Or if I want to, during a future live video, somebody mentions something, I'm like, oh, I got a router right here. I can take it out and know it's just like taking it out for the first time. Paul1961 says, I've got 1 gig internet, but my Wi-Fi will not give me more than 500 unless I cable connect. Yes, well, if you cable connect, you're not on Wi-Fi anymore. So the Wi-Fi limitation is either your router or the device you're connecting. They both, whichever one is the slowest, is going to be your bottleneck. So you would need a router like this one, and then a Wi-Fi adapter that's Wi-Fi, at least Wi-Fi 5, preferably Wi-Fi 6. Again, I'd stay away from 6E. It's too much money. 6 is very affordable. 5 is pretty much obsolete. It's right at the edge. So if you make sure that your connections are Wi-Fi 6 capable and your router is Wi-Fi 6 capable, you should get your full gigabit speed wirelessly and wired, and for multiple devices at the same time with multi-in, multi-out, and better range with beam forming, which these higher end routers have. This has a 2 gigahertz CPU on it, for crying out loud. My first computer was 16 hertz. I don't think it was megahertz. No, and it was painful, so hertz was the right term. Frank says the routers, the dead routers, go to the island of misfit routers. I'm using the wrong mouse. CCTV user says, in 12 years, Amazon UK have never charged me to return any item. Well, good. That's the way it should be. I'm glad it's the same over in the UK as it is here in the US. But we do have viewers in India, and we have viewers in other countries where the Amazon policies may vary. So I just want to re-emphasize that everything is, I'm basing it all on a US experience. John Doe says, my neighbors would probably be disappointed if I upgraded my Wi-Fi, you know, with passwords and everything. Well, here's the great news. And I know you're joking, but here's the thing. If you set your Wi-Fi and password the same on your new router as it is on your old router, nobody knows. All your Wi-Fi devices, your thermostat or your doorbell or your garage door opener, your phone, your computer, they still connect the same. The only time they won't is if you made a typo or you used different if you used uppercase or lowercase. When I say it has to be the same, I mean exactly the same. Same uppercase, same lowercase, not just for the password, but also for the SSID. And as long as it's exactly the same, then your devices don't know it's a different router. They're not checking the router. They're checking the SSID and password. So your neighbors would still jump right on and they might go, hey, our connection's better. I should bring over an apple pie or something, you know, to show my appreciation. That's what I would do. Or just ask for cash. Let's see. Have I missed any questions? If I have, please put your question in the chat room right now, because I'm about to get to the last router. This is your 2-minute warning, and then we're going to wrap things up for tonight, because how long did I say I was going to do this? An hour? That was my attempt. I feel like it's been more than an hour. An hour and 18 minutes? Yeah, and we got at least another 15 if I'm quick. That's why I'm trying to go so fast. I'm all hyperactive today. I'm trying to just get a lot done. I have so much to do. And this isn't all the routers I have, folks. This is just 4. I still have like 4 more that I will make videos on in the future. And then by that time, the new Wi-Fi 7 stuff will be out, and I'm just going to be making router videos for a while, I guess, but I'm enjoying it. Plus I have computers to build and computers to fix, and yeah. Oystein from Norway donates or contributes super chat 100 Norwegian kroner. Thank you, Oystein. I don't know how Amazon in Norway works with policies, but I hope it's similar for you. And I hope that, if nothing else, you're taking something for how to evaluate which router to buy and what it's worth. Sarge Tech says, I am running at gigabit speed. I hope I have good parity. I make fun of a lot of stuff, but that's a different kind of parity. That's PARODY. See what I did? See what I did there? Okay. I'm not seeing any more questions. Come on, you're killing me. No questions, really? You know everything there is to know about routers? Fine. Preaching to the choir. Okay. So here's the thing. I am not an Asus sellout. I'm not an Asus fanboy. The router I'm using right now is a TP-Link. The router I had before that is a Netgear. The one I had before that is a Netgear. The one I had before that was an Asus. And the 2 before that were Asus. And then the one before that was a Netgear. I had a D-Link. I had customers with D-Links. Now nobody I know has D-Links if I care about them. So I don't want to talk anymore about that. CCTV user, again in the chat, says, I hope Carrie does some kind of Christmas stream where we can talk about not just tech like we've done in the past. Maybe. It's possible. I don't know. I don't like to broadcast on the holidays, but I got my Christmas sort of out of the way early this year, so like it's a chore. But maybe. But certainly maybe like the day after, things like that. New Year's Eve, maybe we should see what Mitch is doing and we can kind of take it easy and just hang out, not do anything specific. No agenda. Doman 2000 says, routers just not so exciting anymore, I think. Are you crazy? Don't I seem excited to talk about this? Do I seem like I'm bored talking about this? I can't even begin to go through all of the bells, whistles, and features. I'm just covering the gist of power, performance, range, multi-streaming, multi-inputs, multi-outputs, beamforming. And that's nothing. I'm not even telling you 7% of what these higher-end routers are capable of. That $24 router, I could cover that quick. There's not a whole lot to it. But as we go up in price, there's so much more. But because it's so niche and it's so specific, I know it won't apply to most of you, at least not yet. So again, for those few who are interested, feel free to visit another content creator's channel to get an in-depth, detailed review of any specific model of router that you're interested in. And be sure and read the Amazon reviews and see what the general public is saying. And do know it's coming from the general public, you know, like people who don't know how to, oh, I have to turn off my cable modem. I thought I had a bad router. I'm going to write a negative review about it. Okay. What's the difference between a router and a modem? Fair question. The modem is a modulator, demodulator. Get it? Modem. Modulator, demodulator. What it's doing is it's communicating to your internet service provider called an ISP. We like acronyms. We do. We use them everywhere. But, you know, look, everybody uses them. We've been using them all the time. We just don't realize that we're using them. I programmed in BASIC. That was the first language I learned. Beginner's all-purpose symbolic instruction code. Everything is an acronym. I took my 4x4 to the ATM and entered my PIN to rent a DVD to watch on my HD TV or VHS to put in my VCR, and none of that was English. That was all acronyms, and most people understood everything I said. This is no different. They're just not as common to non-technical people, so you better get used to it. Okay, I think there I am. It didn't like me talking about acronyms. It like disconnected my OBS, which, by the way, OBS is an acronym. You think it's not OBS? I'm using OBS. All right. I don't know what happened there. So what your modem does is your modem establishes an authentication with your DSL or a cable modem provider or satellite provider that lets you on their network. And that enables you to access the internet with one device. In most cases, you get one IP address, and any extra IP addresses you have to pay for. And in each IP address, you better independently have its own firewall, or you're wide open to attack from bots and viruses and automated processes that are coming at you millions of times a second on the internet. They never go away. They just keep adding and adding and adding, and they're just automated, and they just run around the internet. Old worms from the 90s are still out there worming around. They're still out there. So what a router does is three major things. One, it acts as a hardware firewall. So you don't have to worry about a software firewall. Still good to have a secondary, but software firewalls can be disabled by hackers. Hardware firewall, unless they can log into it, that's why you set a good username and password, or you have an outdated firmware. That's why you keep that updated regularly. The chances of them logging in, if you've got a good username and password and your firmware's updated, you're pretty solid. Okay, three things. Firewall. It allows you to take your one internet from your cable modem and split that, in this case, to 4 plus additional Wi-Fi points. Now, your internet service provider has no idea. As far as the internet service provider, all they can see is this. They don't know that that's a router or a computer. It's the one device you're paying for. That's splitting it. You know, when you run out of plugs, you need to plug something in, you only have 2 plugs, and you buy those power splitters. Some people call them surge protectors, but a lot of times they're not. A lot of times they're just 6 or 8 plugs in a strip. That's what this is doing for your internet. It's splitting it so you can use it across multiple devices, and your internet service provider isn't charging you per device. They only see this one device. Okay, router does what I say. 3 major things a router does. Acts as a firewall by using another acronym, NAT, Network Address Translation. You get a non-routable IP address on your side of the router, and your internet public IP address is on the other side of the router. So when people are hacking, they see the router, they don't see you, unless you've turned off your firewall and bypassed it. Anyway, look, it's a firewall. It allows you to share your broadband internet, whether it's satellite, whether it's a little Wi-Fi hotspot, your phone. Your phone can act as a router too, so that would be redundant, but you could do it. The third thing it does, the number 3 thing, is it allows your computers on your network to communicate with each other. You can share files, folders, printers, all within your home or your office. And potentially, if you want to set it up, you can create your own cloud where you can access your data, your movies, your music from anywhere in the world. Higher-end routers offer that. This router also enables us to plug a printer directly into it. We can plug a 3G or 4G or I guess 5G directly card into the USB port as a backup internet source if our main internet goes down and we need our internet because, we have a problem. Or, and I don't mean we have an internet problem, but we personally have a problem. My internet's down, I'm going to die. The USB port, you can plug in a flash drive or an external hard drive and use that as a network share. You could say, I'm going to put all my files on this drive. It's like a network attached storage. Without the performance, it's a bit slower, but it's a lot cheaper, and it's already built into these routers, these higher end routers that have the USB ports. So your routers function 3 major things. Share your internet. I'm going to say it in a different order just to make sure you're paying attention. Share your internet. Share files, folders, and printers, not just with a USB port. If a printer is plugged into this computer, I can share it, and as long as the computer is on and the printer is on and ready to print, anybody else on my network, if I give permission on this computer, can then print through my computer onto the printer that's attached. Also, with some routers, you can just plug the printer directly into the router, and many printers are Wi-Fi, and many people will just put their printer in another room and not use any wires at all. So again, I'm going to just repeat this until I drill it into your head. A router does 3 things. It shares your internet connection to up to 253 devices. It might be really slow if you did that, but 253. Am I wrong? You're looking at me. All right. The more you add, the slower things will get. You need a more powerful router. Okay, so just bear that in mind. It acts as a firewall. I've confused myself. I forgot where I left off. 3 things. File and printer sharing amongst in your house or in your building. Firewall, share your internet. That's what a router does. If your cable or your internet service provider, is what I should say, provides you with a modem and router all built in one, I think that sucks, personally. I have a modem/router here at Studio B, and I have logged into it. The login instructions are typically on a sticker on the bottom. And I have disabled the Wi-Fi on it. There's a button that says disable wireless radio or something like that. And then what I do is I turn off DHCP as well. And I simply run a cable into my TP-Link router out of my modem router because I have effectively just disabled the router part. By turning off DHCP, there's other ways to do it. I could leave DHCP turned on, just turn the wireless radio off, and then turn the DHCP off on the router I'm plugging into, so all of the IP addresses are assigned by the cable modem router. It's really confusing and stupid. I just want my cable modem router to be a cable modem, and I do what I can to disable the router features of it because it's weak. It's so weak. Cox advertises something called panoramic Wi-Fi. There's no such thing in real life. It's a marketing term. They made it up. I don't know what panoramic Wi-Fi is. It's like Corinthian leather. What is that? It's a marketing word. It's made up words. So they're doing it to add perceived value to their service. So I have a cable modem router here provided by the internet service provider. I have disabled the wireless radio and DHCP, and I plug into the router of my choice. Any router I want, they're all 100% compatible. Modems are not, but routers are 100% compatible universally around the world because it's a router. Good question, and thank you for asking it. It took me forever to answer that, but I wanted to clarify any confusion, and I hope I didn't make more confusion. So yes, routers do have other modes called bridging, APs or access points. I try to keep things simple, but you can see it's very easy to get things complicated. If you want to delve into all those options, there's lots of other content providers here on YouTube. There's a great YouTube channel about networking basics where it's all just animated. I'm trying to think what it's called. I'll add it to the video notes after the show. I'll put it in the notes below this video. It's a wonderful educational video about networking and computers that is very professionally done. Okay, what's the last router? Wait a minute. R. Rodriguez says, are you slimming down? Oh, thank you. Thinks I'm slimming down. I ate 3 donuts today. No, not on purpose, but I'll take it. It's bad posture. I'm just going to stand up straight. Thank you, though. You're my new best friend. Okay, so the last router is a Netgear router. And the reason I want to bring this up is I bought, well, you know what? Let me just show you. Let me go over to Amazon again. Let me go full screen. Okay, I can see now. And let's close this. Let's close that. Okay, so this is the Netgear Nighthawk Wi-Fi 6 router. Now this is an RAX70. I had an RAX120. The only difference, this is an 8-stream router. The 120 is a 12-stream router. But most people won't need a 12-stream. Even I don't need a 12-stream router, but darn it, I wanted it. It says coverage up to 2,500 square feet and up to 40 devices, but that, you can obviously connect more devices than that, but it'll start affecting performance. Okay, so why am I bringing this router up for this? Check this out. Saved with used and good. Check this. Come on, is it gonna show up? Come on. You're killing me over here, Amazon. Right here. This is what I'm always looking for. New and used. Can you believe this? $133 from Amazon warehouse for this $280 router. It's like what's that, half off? Wait, how much is it on the, how much is it here? I didn't think it was that much. New, $278.63. I paid almost $500 for this router when I first got to Studio B. Okay, I'm not upset. I'm glad it's still a relevant router. And again, I bought the 12-stream one, which is oddly a better value new, but oh wait, what's this, 129? Hold on a minute. What? So the better version from Amazon Warehouse? No, see, that's the problem. I don't know. Watch these ratings, folks. Don't get so seduced by the price that you end up buying from an unknown vendor. Do your research on the vendor, look at the feedback. They might just be fine, I don't know. I would rather have peace of mind and spend 41 more cents and get it from Amazon warehouse. What a deal. $130? Are you kidding me right now? I would be totally fine at $180. That's what, $50 off? Forget this $184. Forget it, just buy new. I hope one of you buys this, because if you don't, I swear I'm going to buy this. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but it's such a good deal. And look, the 8-stream version of this router, by the way, that's the 12-stream. This is the daddy. We'll call it the mommy. Well, that's implying that it's less than. All right, beat me up on it, whatever. But come down here. If somebody's already bought that one for $130, I keep wanting to click on this like a fool. You got to go down a little further and look where it says new and used. Learn from my impatience. These are both, no. That one is from Amazon warehouse for, it's a $3 difference. The router is physically the same case. It looks exactly the same. And you know, you've always got sellers trying to gouge people who don't know what something's worth. So you know at the bottom there's going to be somebody wanting more than what it costs new. Look, I mean, look, we can hate on the people all day for charging $390. But if somebody's going to pay it, whose fault is that? So they'll let that sit there for a year or two at that price. All you need is one sale. It totally justifies it. I don't know why you'd want to. So they're in order of price. Isn't that a bargain? Oh my gosh. I paid almost $500 for this router. And you've seen what they look like when they come out of the box used. All right, so what's the deal with the router? Let's go one more time with the close-up camera. Would you hand me that router, please? And let me go back to camera 1. Okay. This router is going to ship with the antennas folded. You don't screw any antennas down on these Nighthawk routers. Sometimes they pull up and fold. On this one, they just fold. So you don't normally keep it in that position. That's a shipping position only. When you receive the router, again, there are different versions of Nighthawk where you have to lift and then push down. This one, super easy. One mistake. This is the 6E version of the router. They're so identical. This has a glossy finish. The Wi-Fi 6 version, which I just showed you, is a matte finish, and I think the fins pull up and seat down. I was using this router before I realized this is a complete waste of money for me. This is the 6E. This is a different router than what I just showed you. So for the most part, it looks exactly the same. So we can take a close-up of it. We'll bring a close-up camera in, put the camera girl to work. There you go. So this is the 6E. This is a nearly $500 router, if you can believe that. Yellow port is where your cable modem is going to go. We've got 4 LAN ports, as is standard. We've got our 2.5 over there. Is that what that is? Mm-hmm. Yeah. On-off switch, barrel connector for power. Yellow is where your cable modem or DSL modem plugs in. 2 USB 3.0 ports. The other routers you saw, one USB 2 and one USB 3. So you're going to pay a little bit more for that. This has more processing power as a result. We have our reset switch. And what's that on the end? What's that last thing?
LED on.
Oh, that will, wait, LED.
On and off.
Is that a switch? Oh, it's over here. Oh, yeah, it's a switch. So this really doesn't have much in the way of LEDs. It's actually quite subtle. I don't know why somebody would want to turn the LEDs off, but they're just, if I plug this in and turn it on, they're just little blue lights for each one of these. And there's a lot of them. I would not advise turning them off. If it's sort of a large colorful LED like what we have over here, you might want to turn that off. If it's in a bedroom, it might be hard to sleep, or it might just be annoying. Like these LEDs, I would want these on, but not necessarily this. So with this one, we've got a couple buttons here. Up at the front of it, no, nothing on the front of it. Sometimes there's some hidden buttons there. What do these buttons say? What do these do? I can't read it. I had enough time with this router. Here's the problem. I had it long enough to know it was a waste of money for me. Now that, just pull the camera back because that's, all we're seeing is a dark screen. That's fine, you're good. I'm gonna go back over to the Amazon page because I wanna show you how much this Wi-Fi 6E, you're good, how much this Wi-Fi 6E router costs. Check this out. I wanna go back over to this computer here. Full screen, full screen. Look it, that's the RAX70, okay? So I'm gonna just go to Amazon. Everything's live, folks, so if this all seems a little unprofessional, it's intended to be. I just wanna talk to you like you're my friends. I don't wanna put on a performance for you. That's fake, it's disingenuous. It's what everybody else does here on YouTube. All right, so let's do Netgear, Nighthawk, 6E. That should, oh boy, I screwed that up. But that's it right there. So $453, and it looks exactly the same as the one I just showed you for $133. And guess what? You're gonna pretty much, most of you, not notice any performance difference. But yes, this will cover up to 3,500 square feet with up to 60 devices, whereas the other one was what, 2,500 square feet and 40 devices. Is that worth paying twice as much? I mean, why not buy two of the other one and still take yourself out to a nice, super nice dinner? This is what we call AXE1100. It's got 3 bands, so it's 2.5, 5, and 6. I don't have anything with 6. I think it has 6. I know the TP-Link router has a 6 gigahertz band, but yeah, I wouldn't spend, I already did. I think I'm gonna box this up and send it back to Amazon, quite frankly, but I have until the end of January. I'm so disappointed. Okay, could I save money by buying it returned? Let's take a look. New and used from 300 bucks, 304, comes from Amazon Warehouse. Okay, you know what? For $304, we're still over twice the price of the Netgear I just showed you. That was also 12 stream. I don't even think I would do that. I mean, as long as I could pick the other one up under 200 bucks, if you had to have Wi-Fi 6E, that's a strong value right there, my friends. This is not too shabby, but it's not coming from Amazon Warehouse. Looks like there's only the one. So that's $150 savings. But I'm telling you, I can see no difference from using this router than using the other one. I was not having any coverage problems to resolve. When I connect to my attached storage, it actually seems slower in data transfer, which I don't understand why. So I'm currently evaluating the TP-Link. Which TP-Link am I evaluating? I am glad you asked. The TP-Link I am using right now is their most expensive. It's the AXE16000, and it's ugly, and the interface is clunky. Oh, and it's on sale for only $500. And these Ethernet ports up here, there's a little, right here, there's a little ledge. And if you use Ethernet connectors that have the little boots on them to protect the connectors from snagging, the little push down, to release, good luck getting it out, because you can't get your fingers between this ledge and the top of these two LAN ports. So I had to get a straight edge screwdriver. So I paid all that money. So why would somebody want this? Well, guess what? If you've got fiber and you need to run 10 gigabits per second, this router is worth spending the money on. If you need the 2.5 and the 10, holy cow. Now suddenly this router seems like a good deal, but I don't use 2.5. I'm certainly not using 10. 10's not even an option for me. Also, the USB port is over onto the side, as is the reset and power button, which I don't like that it's off to the side. I want everything in the back. So I think I'm sending this one back to Amazon too, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to keep it. And it gets uncomfortably hot. The operational temperature of this unit disturbs me. I mean, I'm already disturbed, but it disturbs me even more. Let me go back to camera one just to just to show you, I've got the box. I got all the packing material and everything in the box, so I'm ready to send it back. But that's what I'm currently evaluating right now. And I wonder, I've had a couple internet dropouts since I've been using it. And I don't know if that's at fault or my wireless bridge is playing with me or what's going on, but I am not happy with this. So this is a 6E router. This is also a 6E router. This has two 5 gigahertz channels. So if you have a lot of 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi and it starts overcrowding your 5 gigahertz network, you get two 5 gigahertz Wi-Fis on here, as well as a 6 gigahertz, plus your 2.4, plus all the same with guest network. So if you want to really upset your neighbors, you can consume 8 channels of bandwidth by enabling all 8 broadcast SSIDs. How selfish for you to do that. All right, so, but the unit is over there, it's plugged in, and we're using it right now. So I can't show it to you, but that day will come. That day will come. Bull142 with a $10 super chat contribution. Thank you, Bull142. Some of you may not be able to chat during today's live video, and that's because you're not a subscriber. There are subscribers and there are members. Members generously pay $9.99 a month, and they get special member benefits. What are the member benefits? Well, right now they've been few and far between, but going forward, there may be some giveaways, there may be some exclusive content or earlier content that members get to see first, and more private Q&A sessions where the chat room's not as crowded because we don't have nearly as many members as we have viewers, which makes it makes my videos more intimate, more personal, when you're not competing with other chat room participants, but rather it's all just members, which again make up a very, very tiny percentage of viewers. But it's their generosity for being members that keeps me from having to reach out to sponsors continually for products. Like, without any scruples, I could be sitting here promoting cell phone games. You have no idea how many cell phone game offers come at me in email. It's ridiculous, and I'm not doing it. I get constantly, some company wants me to promote their video cards. I don't know who they are. I don't know what kind of return policy or what kind of customer service they have. So I'm able financially to say nothing to them. I don't say no, I just don't respond, because I have the independent support of the viewers. I can sit here and I can make more content with more variety more often. And all of this is paid for out of my pocket, using money earned through YouTube or through viewer contributions primarily. We do get some sponsors, of course, Acronis, RoboForm, the Windows and Office license keys. But, you know, what is that, 3? And I'm really consistent with my sponsors. They don't come and go. Because I use them in real life. I'm honored, first of all, that they would work with me. And I also think their products at regular price are a great deal. But if the sponsor will make my viewers a special deal just for my viewers, oh, that means the world to me. That can make or break a sponsorship. The reason why I don't offer any VPN service is the VPN that I use, and I very rarely actually turn it on, doesn't want to make you guys a special deal. They want to make you the same deal they make everybody else. And I said, look, I told them, I said, I use your product. I'd like to promote your product, but you have to do something for my viewers. And they said, well, there's our discount. I go, but a Google search shows that discount is everywhere. Why would my viewers use my link and my code when it's the same discount they can already get? That's just the way we do it. I said, well, if you're not going to do anything special for my viewers, and it can only, look, I'm not saying it's got to be indefinite. Just make it for a limited time. Go above and beyond. Do a special deal just for my viewers, just for like 2 weeks. No, we don't do it that way. Okay, bye. So that's why you don't see me promoting any VPNs. I've been asked to promote VPNs, but they're not VPNs I use. Are they good? Are they bad? I don't know. And if I can't honestly tell you it's a great product, it's a great value, and if they're not going to do anything special for you guys, well, then I'm counting on your generosity, or use my Amazon links if you're making a purchase in the USA from Amazon. You're contributing, I get a small commission. It's anonymous. I can't see who's buying anything. I can just see what's been purchased and when, so I know how much commission I've earned. I have no idea who purchased it. Share the links. Not everything has to be about money. Some people think, I don't know, they think that I'm living in a castle and I'm driving a limousine, but I'm being driven. It's furthest from the truth. I'm trying to make as many videos as I can afford to make, and I'm still working my computer repair job because I have to. But it also is because I want to come at these videos as a real technician. If I quit my technician job because YouTube is paying me too much money, that can happen, then within a matter of time, I'm just going to be like all the other enthusiasts. I will just be an enthusiast. My recommendations come to you the same way they would if you were a paying customer of mine. And you're getting it for free, and well, I don't charge for the videos, and nor do I expect anybody to pay for them. When you do see contributions come in, I didn't ask for them. This isn't a telethon. Some viewers have it in their heart to contribute, and I think it would be rude to not say thank you when they do that. And that's why I shout out all the contributions during a live stream, because that's the right thing to do. It's because of the people doing that that I was able to get these routers, quite frankly. So if for whatever reason those contributions go away, I'm still making videos, but they might just be talking head videos, and they might be once a week because I still have all my other bills to pay, and I'm not getting rich from it yet. It would be nice, but the community is far more valuable to me than any amount of money. And if I can continually make content, if I can afford to do that, well, that just makes the community stronger and the channel gets more popular. That's the logic behind it. And of course, as the community gets bigger, the challenges that a content creator has is more harassment. When you're the little guy, people root for you, and if you start to succeed, they want to knock you down. Some people, oh, no, you're getting too successful now. Smack them back down. Hollywood's famous for this. You know, Hollywood will, who was it the other day? Brendan Fraser was talking about how they will put you on a pedestal just so they can knock you off of it. It's not far from the truth. So those are some challenges I deal with behind the camera, but I have to tell you, it doesn't make up much. There's just a couple of, we look at the hundreds of thousands of viewers that have watched this channel. The harassers make up a very tiny percentage, but I still have to deal with it. Nonetheless, going back to the routers, I would not advise you to buy a Wi-Fi 6E router. I think performance for the money, the value for the money, it's the latest thing, right? The latest thing is rarely a good deal. When the Wi-Fi 7 routers come out, they're not going to be worth the money. I'm going to buy one anyway because I want it, and I'm going to justify it to make content. I had to buy this. It's my job. This is what I don't have a choice. I have to spend this outrageous amount of money on some useless device I don't need because it's my job. Are you believing that? But it's kind of true.
No, it's not.
A little bit?
Squirrel.
Squirrel. All right, squirrel moment. As you can tell, visibly, these routers, these Nighthawk routers from Netgear, they look pretty much the same. Some of them are a little bit bigger, some are a little bit smaller, but they have that same bat wing design. I think it kind of looks like the Emperor's Imperial shuttle. I expect the Emperor and Darth Vader to walk out. And beginning of Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader wants to know how the Death Star is coming along. You think it looks like a bat?
Yeah.
Should I hang it upside down?
It
Is upside down with the cables up, or is upside down with the cables down? All right. That's why I wanted to show that other Asus router that stood upright. Not everybody has the space for these. Look how big these routers are. It's like you pay by the millimeter. But I'm telling you, that Netgear router, those 8-stream and 12-stream, the RAX120 and RAX70, at the used prices? Are you kidding me right now? Remember, product is getting returned constantly. So if somebody else has purchased it, don't fret. Be patient. Check the Amazon page at least weekly, maybe daily, depending on how anxious you are. I don't know any other retailer that does that consistently with returns as easy as they are. I said I was going to go 20 more minutes. I think I've gone a whole nother hour. I'm sick and I need help. I'm 4 minutes away from 2 hours. That's good. That's enough for today. Plus, we had an hour and a half earlier with Begouden from Acronis. I should probably eat something. Hey, Frankie B with $49.99 in Super Chat. Frankie's been very generous here. Thank you so much, Frankie. Thank you to Peter Laycock as well. He offline gave a very generous Amazon gift card, and I will be using that maybe for some more routers. Yeah. All right. If there's a router you're interested in seeing, let me know in the comments below. I will see you all soon. I'm not going to say happy holidays because I'll be back before then. CCTV user says, I love the Acronis discounts. Right on. Yeah, it's a great piece of software, even at full price. The discount is icing on the cake. Luke Greenia says, thank you. Oh, he's talking to somebody else. He's not talking to me. But that's all right. Luke's a good guy. He's been a member of this community a long time, and a shout out and a thank you to Luke. Anyway, even if he wasn't talking to me, my feelings aren't hurt. Mortant said, I sent an Amazon gift card. Alvin says, great show today. Thanks. Fernando says, have time for a quick question on fans. Yeah, go ahead and ask. CCTV user says, we need to find a local vet in Cary, go to their house and give them a tech makeover. Hey, that would be cool. I like that idea. Mark M with a $5 super chat says, family of 4 streaming, gaming, etc. Fiber internet, 4,000 square foot house. Do I get the Asus AX1100 or the AXE1100 or the AXE16000? Look, I've got the only 16,000 I have is that TP-Link. I'm not seeing a benefit from it. I'm not sure which Asus router is AXE16000. I think it's the big spider one, like the TP-Link with the 8 antennas. That's I think it's that one, isn't it? If you don't mind a router that big and ugly, it's a good router. Let's really quickly, we're going to go over to Amazon and pull these up because now you've got me curious what they look like. So we'll do this before we go because I want to know. Okay. We'll just go here to Asus AXE16000. Yeah, it's $700. Holy cow, that's a lot of money. Okay, it's Wi-Fi 6E. Any bargains down here? No. You know why? Because it's still new. If anything, they're more money, aren't they? $723. Ooh, $899 if you want to spend more than you have to. There you go. I would not buy this router. Now, this is not dual band. This is not tri-band. This is quad band. It also has a 6 gigahertz. This is closer to the TP-Link router. What's the back of it look like? Of course, you can mesh them together. It also has the 6 gigahertz band. Okay, would I spend $700 for this or any other router? You need not just one, but 2 10 gigabit ports? and 2.5 gig, I would say no thank you. I would not recommend this router to you. Let's take a look at the AX6000, which looks exactly the same, doesn't it? But it's $433. Do we have any used or new since this is older? We do. You could save $100. Does it come from Amazon Warehouse? Why is this coming up? New and used. $281 from Amazon Warehouse. If you're watching this right now, buy that one. If you don't like it, you can send it back to Amazon. That is a deal. Absolutely a deal. How many square feet can we get out of this bad boy? It says tri-band. It usually says up here at the top. It's only a 1.8 gigahertz processor though. This little Asus router is a 2 gigahertz. Same company, but Scrolling. What's our range? There's our ports. Oh, it's got some stuff on the side. I don't like the stuff on the side. At least it doesn't have that ridge like the TP-Link does that makes it hard to unplug the Ethernet on top. Oh, and it's got stuff on the other side. 2 USB 3.2s. Oh, they're 3.2s, not just 3s. Okay, look, if you're interested for the AX6000, the Asus ROG Rapture, this is Wi-Fi 6E. I know they have a Wi-Fi 6 version of this router though, but it wouldn't be AX6000. There it is. Oh, it's AX11000. That's why it didn't come up. And used, returned. Okay. I'm going to take back what I said. Unless you like the RGB, this is even cheaper. $266 ships from Amazon Warehouse. That's a bargain. That's the one I'd recommend. I don't think the 6E is worth it. But if you know, so this is AX11000 instead of AXE11000. I don't think you'll see a difference. You're going to probably get the same performance coverage and features within the firmware of this modem. Of course, if you disagree with me, feel free to say otherwise, folks, in the chat room. But for you, this one here, $266 for used, I would totally get that. And if I didn't like it, I would have the peace of mind. Again, I'm going to keep reemphasizing, I can return it, piece of cake. It won't cost me anything to return. Make sure it's coming from Amazon Warehouse. Thank you for the question. And with that, I think we are going to wrap up tonight's show. Thanks for all of your participation, and thanks to Camera Girl for the close-ups today. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Master Singleton says $266 for a Wi-Fi 6 router is a great deal. Hey, the Netgear routers I was just showing you were Wi-Fi 6 for a little bit less. Let me check my phone before we say goodbye, just in case I've missed some contributions. Mortant with an Amazon gift card. Oh, $50. Wow, very nice. Here's $50 for dinner for you and the Camera Girl. Oh, thank you, Mortant. That's all I missed? All right. Well, look. Contributions are always appreciated and never expected. Thank you all so much for enabling my addiction. I'm on the fence about giving away the TP-Link and the Netgear, but they're a lot of money and they're going to cost a lot to ship. I'd rather use the money as an Amazon credit to buy more routers to make more content. What should I do? I'd rather give away 5 $100 routers than one $500 router. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for your participation in today's show. And, thanks for not being a jerk. Wish we could say the same. Hope you all have a great weekend. I will see you all probably on Monday. If I feel up to it, maybe something on the weekend. I don't know yet. Don't glare at me, camera girl. If you're here, you're working. These cameras don't move themselves.
What I'm here for.
That's right. Like I said, I still have a couple other routers, and I've been in this weird mood lately where I'm all about the routers. So if you guys don't buy those used routers I showed you today, if they're still available tonight, I might buy them just as like giveaways. It's good for the channel. Don't glare at me.
Squirrel. Squirrel.
No, this. This is a squirrel.
Looks just like you.
We look alike.
Oh, you look.
I'll see you all very, very soon. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all the contributors. Thanks for all the participation in the chat room. Thanks for being kind, not only to me, but to each other. We have an amazing community, and it wouldn't be as amazing without you. Was that pandering? I mean it.
It's genuine.
It's sincere. All right. All right. Until next time. Bye for now. Oh, and links to everything in the video notes below the video. And roll credits. Roll the credits. We don't have any credits.
No, you do something better.
Here we go. Bye.